Self-management is the second component for emotional intelligence, and it is all about learning how to move from impulse to choice. In this video, you will also learn how to manage your emotions tactfully and not let them hijack your brain when you're making important decisions. My name is Pablo, and welcome to More to Mind, a show about meditation that teaches you how there's more to your mind than you think. There are 5 components to emotional intelligence, and the second one is self-management, which we will speak about today. Self-awareness was the first component of emotional intelligence, which I spoke about in my first video, and you can find that here at the top. I will speak about the other 3 in future videos. Now, what is self-management? Self-management is all about moving from impulse to choice. We go throughout our lives being guided by our habits and our emotions without us ever realizing that that is what is guiding us. Self-management is being able to tame and manage those emotions so that we can give direction to life. Think about this story for a second. An old man is sitting by a lake and he sees another man riding his horse at a distance. And then he approaches that man and he asks him, "Excuse me, sir, where are you going?" And that man on the horse replies to him, "I don't know. Why don't you ask the horse?" Now think about it. This is a perfect analogy that exemplifies how we live our lives. The horse in our lives is our emotions and our habits that are constantly guiding us through life without us realizing it. Now, why is self-management important? Self-management is going to allow us to tame the horse. Self-management is allow us to control that horse and give direction to where we want to go, give direction to our life without actually reacting mindlessly through behaviors and old patterns. And the reactions that we can have can be simple, like losing your cool in a conversation with minor repercussions, or an extreme reaction like not making a career move because you're afraid of failing in that career and thus losing the opportunity. Of course, before we can tame the horse, we need to be able to recognize that there is a horse in the first place that is guiding us. And recognizing that horse is self-awareness. As I said, that is the first part of emotional intelligence, and you cannot have self-management if you don't have self-awareness first of the emotion that is controlling your life. Now, how do we apply self-management skills? Before I can tell you how, I need to tell you when can we apply self-management skills. Viktor Frankl was a neurologist, a psychologist, and a Holocaust survivor. And he has a very interesting quote. He said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom." Now, think of stimulus as the thing that triggers us externally, right? It can be the fact that your coworker is late for a meeting and is making you lose time, or the fact that there's this constant noise in the background and you can't fall asleep. That's the stimulus. Your reaction is that you're just gonna explode. You're getting full of anger and you wanna lose your cool against these two situations. What Viktor Frankl suggests is that between that stimulus that we were talking about and your reaction and your response, there is actually space. And if you're able to identify that space, you're going to be able to change how you react and choose how you want to react. And this is when you want to apply self-management skills. This is the space between those two things. The other problem is that sometimes we do identify that there is a space and we do identify that there's the opportunity to choose, but the emotion is just too strong. The emotion is completely overtaking us and it feels like there's nothing we can do. And now we're going to get into the how we can apply self-management skills. It is important to understand that self-management is not the same as self-control. You're not controlling your emotions. You're certainly not suppressing them, resisting them, or denying your emotions. If you do any of these things, it might work in the short term, but in the long term, it might make things even worse. So, if self-management is not about controlling our emotions, how do we do it? And the response might be paradoxical. To illustrate, let me give you an analogy. Imagine you're sitting in your living room and you're looking out the window. You're looking out the window now, depending on the day, you're going to see different kinds of weather. if you stay there long enough, now you're gonna see that weather change and transition on its own. Sometimes you will look out your window and see a rainy day. The sky is dark, and if you wait, it will change. And you'll see now a sunny day. Clear skies everywhere, beautiful day. But no weather lasts forever, and it will change again into a cloudy, cold day. Outside your window, everything is just gloomy. And regardless of the weather, it will change on its own. If you observe long enough, the weather will come, and then it will go. It's not up to you. The problem is that sometimes we want to control the weather. If it's raining outside, we want it to stop so we can go out. And if it's sunny, we want it to stay sunny so that we can keep enjoying the day. And when we try to control the weather this way, of course, it's just going to stress us out because we have no control over it. It is the same thing with emotions. We might think that we have control over them, but the best way to approach them is by letting them run their course. Of course, when we feel good emotions, we want them to stay longer, and when we feel negative emotions or difficult emotions, we want them to leave and go away. That is just a human tendency. But just like with weather, emotions will run their own course in their own time. They will come and go, they will rise and fall, and it is not up to us. But controlling them will generate stress. Now, if an emotion hijacks your brain, if you're angry because your coworker is late or because of any other reason, the best way to do this is to take a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes and just notice the emotion and observe the emotion without trying to control it, and just let it run its course. Once you feel calmer, you can choose a much wiser response. And this is how you apply self-management skills on emotions. To sum up, self-management is all about moving from impulse to choice. The first thing we want to do is identify and realize that there is a horse that is guiding our decisions, an emotional horse. The second thing is taming that horse. And like Viktor Frankl said, recognizing that there's a space between stimulus and response. If you can identify that space, you can choose how you want to react to that situation. Now, if the emotion is too strong, what you want to do is you want to observe the emotion mindfully, take a couple of minutes, a couple of hours, maybe a couple of days even, if it's too strong, and let the emotion run its course, observing it. Let the rainy day turn into a sunny day. And then you can choose a much wiser response for the situation at hand. If you like this video, please click on like and subscribe. I will have a lot more content like this one, and I will also cover the other 3 aspects of emotional intelligence in future videos. And if you want to practice self-management skills right now, you can click on this 10-minute guided mindfulness session that will teach you how to relate to your emotions and how to manage them in a more tactful way. If you're going through a challenging situation right now, this will be a great opportunity for you to learn how to relate to that situation better and those emotions better. Thank you so much, and have a great day.